Could you feel that at all if you did the same hand and foot or the diagonal hand and foot? Just as you're standing there. Yeah? So if you're standing and you think, I'm going to connect this hand through to getting long on this foot, where does that take your torso, your head? No? Where does it take? So we're really, please feel it, please. How does your right leg, so it's still the same, your right leg's getting ready to bend. Yeah? You're pulling down, yeah? Right leg's getting ready to bend, you're turning. And now do it with your right hand and your right foot. So the right foot's still going to lift, get ready to lift, but where does your head go through space compared to if you've got the diagonal? So hopefully as we keep going, this is going to get clearer to you. What's the difference between a diagonal in my awareness or the same side in my awareness? And the thing is, we want both. So those of you who think, oh, I got it, maybe there's something else in your organisation that you could still get more clarity about. No, go on, you're getting it, you're getting it. So what's that going to do when I'm connecting this hand and this foot? Think you're on the floor though. We'll go with what you're feeling. So I know I have to get this hip back, don't I? To make it easy on the floor to get that roll. So which foot is going to make it easy? Which hip do I want to be rotating around to make it easy to shift my weight? The opposite one. No? So again, it's going to change whether I'm in standing or on my back or on my belly. And what we're looking for is that we've got all of these possibilities. Again, he's always going to, as he often does when you're really going for something new, if that's in your image, let's go with that. Let's go with what's already clearer in your awareness, in your attention. Let's not swap you over to what's the thing. Did anyone find that the leg didn't change depending on which way they turned? Yeah. That can happen a lot too. Huh? So it doesn't matter which way their head is and which hand they're using, that they think of the same foot. No. We always go with what's easier. And you keep going, and then maybe you notice that something changes. But we're going to keep, we're going to do lots of different variations in different positions. And you're going to keep coming back to this crawl and just seeing what's got easier. What do I have to understand to make it really light to get this movement? Okay. So, and I've been giving you a bit of a clue about the head. Okay. So with Elizabeth the other day, we got to bringing the leg up. Because again, if my image is here to bring my leg up, that might bring me more out there. But if I've got an image that this is connected through to that shoulder, can you see that's a totally different image compared to if I'm thinking this is connected to this shoulder? And he doesn't know this very well. So, but that should be easy too. But that whole, if I'm connecting to this or if I'm connecting to this, how am I putting this force? And we know with Elizabeth, she's got a hemiplegia. No, we know that she's really sort of one-sided. So it's probably initially easier to go with one, but then how do we start getting that diagonal through her system? That she can feel this connection to these forces going through different ways, because once this gets mobile, my head gets free. But if the only way I can do it is by shifting my head, but not this, and you know, you'll start to see it. You'll see people running if you're walking behind them, and they always take this one side. It's always over one leg. Or it's always over the other, or they always hold it in one particular thing. And you can feel that if that's my pattern, then my head can be free. But what orientations am I not going to be able to find? So we want everything to get light and easy. So with Elizabeth, I'll put it back. He was really getting this long diagonal. She's getting long through the whole thing. Her arm, he kept bringing more and more in, and we could feel that. So he was really, let's bring this even, and look where her head must go to do that, to bring those closer. We don't have to do that with all of our clients. It depends what it is that we want them to understand. So that's going to really determine, what am I trying to show them? What is it that I think would be useful? But I'm always going to be going with what's easy for them. I'm not going to start, and that's why, you know, with so much in prone, where the head's so constrained, how do I get it light? How do I keep making sure that my head is free? So we did that. Remember, he was really working with Elizabeth in showing her that that shoulder blade could go back. Because so much of her pattern was to drop that shoulder forward. That's the... And, you know, I find it really fascinating, you know, when they talk about, well, what gives you these patterns of tone that you see in people, especially people with a neurological disorder. It's pretty, you know, it's the flexion or it's the extension pattern, but you see the same things over and over again. And most of them are about not being able to shift your weight or weight bear. But anyway, so we got Elizabeth to there. And then he was starting to show her, because he got us so far here with weight. So now this was so light, so weight bearing, that now I can begin to show her she can just shift her weight to here and start to come up, because I've got her pelvis light. And I had her pelvis light because I'd evened the tonus through her and shown her she had lots of places she could shift her weight to, so that her pelvis could get light. So what I wanted to show you today was just some more ideas if we're thinking about integrating it a little bit more. So again, this shoulder back, where if you imagine you were in this position and you wanted to put your hand to rest on your head, where would it go? This hand. So we're now going to show her that she doesn't need to weight bear through this hand. Where would your hand go? If this shoulder blade, this is your bell hand again. Shoulder blades going back. And he's already done all of this with her to show her that this can stay up. No. He doesn't want her shoulder to drop forward again. He's just engaged all of this for her to show her that this can wake up a little bit, because it's given up so much of its habitual work. So he's shown her that. So would it make sense then that if that was there, that maybe her hand could come up and rest on the back of her head? He hasn't got a mobile enough chest to do it. Yeah? But would that make sense, that there's something about this whole movement of getting long on this side, that might be where I want to take my head? Okay, so let's get someone on the table. Yeah. Waiting. So whichever side's comfortable for you, Doris. Huh? So what do we see when we look at Doris? Because you can already see that this is not ready to go back, to slide that arm back over her head too. And if you can't see it, if you came in here with that direction, you can feel that it's not ready to go. No? She can't shift the weight over here. So Doris has actually got a little bit more weight here on this side than this side. She's a little bit more heavy there. That makes sense, Doris? But with her pelvis, she's this side. So she's got a little bit more there. This is heaps of us, yeah? And it can be the other way round too. But for Doris, it's like I go there, and I go there, here. So if I was going to bring her leg up, I'm probably going to hit a bit of a roadblock. Just a roadblock in here. Because this middle bit isn't this, because she's used to doing this and this. So if I start to spiral that leg up, it's probably not going to get through this roadblock. If I went in here and I could feel this was mobile, do you know what I mean? If there was a bit of give there, I'd go, of course I can get it through the roadblock. But at the moment, this isn't ready to shift its weight very much. No? So we've got this is free, but if we go up here, and you can see where her head is. Now there's a lot of creases in her neck, and these are pretty symmetrical. No? So I can pretty much guarantee that if I go in here, there's not much give. So what's the first thing we're going to do? Sorry. It's not that light. Huh? And I said this to someone the other day. You know, if this is stuck, everything I do with someone, I want them to be light. I just don't lift things if they're not light.
Go with more of what she knows.
Where could I put her head? The big organizer. Big organizer. We could try that. So, and again, if you don't want to lift their head, you can just go in there and say, Doris, can you lift your head a little bit? And shift it a little bit. Which way feels easier? This way or this way? And that was me feeling that I could just feel her sternum was readier to go that way. And I will be doing that a lot. So if this was Doris's, come back, Doris. This was her FI and she was a client of mine in my practice, I'd be saying that to her. No? I'd be saying exactly what I said. Doris, lift your head. Which way is it easier for your sternum to go? Ah, that way. No. Had my fingers on the sternum just like we did the other day. Yeah, and I'm just feeling, where is this ready to move? Yeah. So then I just come in. Is that a little look? Huh? But now I know that I can bring her leg up to the side. Yeah. So this is done quickly. Yeah. Obviously, if you had a new client, you're probably going to be playing around. Yeah. So we've now got the leg up, and you can begin to see she's already now had to start shifting the weight a little bit. But does this arm look comfortable? Again, I'm checking. This one feels pretty light. It's got options. If it's got options, I know we're in the ballpark. I'll go back, and this one doesn't have many options. Where could it go? Where could I find? No, but I didn't just lift her arm there. The whole time I was in an inquiry about where's it light, where could it go? Yeah? How's that feel now, Doris? Ah.
And so the difference being that because she was lying with her, is the difference that when she first lay down, she was able to lie with her arms long beside her. And because it seemed to me that more or less the first thing he did was actually bring her leg up halfway, and then it was her arm standing her right hand, and then he worked on her neck. So it was because she was heavy in different places to Doris.
Absolutely. What I'm suggesting to you is you're not Feldenkrais yet. So you have to keep coming back and checking these main areas. Do you know what I mean? His self-use is so superb that he can feel, just when he brought a leg up and he could feel, I'm not going to get any further, but I know I want her weight shifted, so I'm going to leave it where it is, and then I'm going to go up here. But if you'd actually, I know a lot of you being Elizabeth couldn't get this free. Remember, you were lying there and going, oh no, that isn't ready to move yet. But he's thinking big picture all the time. He's thinking, where could I put it that this is going to get free? What I'm saying to you at the moment is keep checking these things. Keep checking this is free. Keep checking that there can be a connection between them. So this pelvis first rib connection is fundamental to everything we do. So I wouldn't have minded. This isn't Doris, yeah? But some people, I would have had to take their head back here. Because that's where their weight was, and that's where it was easy to go, and that's where they got more freedom. And then we continue on and we see gradually, can everything start to make sense to bring it back the other way? Because we're just trying to get the weight along here.
So that was lightening the weight that you said was on the right side of the chest. And
we did that by moving this.
And then you allowed that shoulder to be moved.
Doris allowed that shoulder.
Doris allowed that shoulder to be moved because her head was now.
Because this was freer.
Yeah.
This was freer. Huh? So Doris, can you just tighten that again? Just do anything you, okay. Yeah? So now this can't move. I guarantee you this shoulder won't want to go anywhere. Huh? And I can sit there and go, ah, da, da, da. But boy, expect to take a long time. Now let that go again. All right? No?
So if it's still not loose, things still not light enough and loose enough, you just do the loop again, basically?
You could try the loop again, absolutely, Helen, and think it just through a little bit differently. Or you could think about what are all the other bits I could do that might help. Huh? What are all the other bits? Yeah, absolutely. Maybe it's something that I want to show her that her foot could be more connected to this. You could saw Feldenkrais do a lot with her foot to bring the leg up. And that's what happens in these demos. That's what I was saying to you, because I'm working with someone on the table. What do they need? What is it that makes sense for them? No? But you could absolutely come back and do more on their foot. No? And then come back and see, am I always getting more options available? Is her head getting lighter? Huh? And look at that going through now to that leg. Huh? Because she's done a lot of ATM. No? So I've got her in a position now where this is fairly light. This, I could even get there for her. Huh? Why? Because it just feels easier when I do that. That's why I took it there. Okay. So if we wanted this shoulder blade back, yeah, we could do lots of things. So if that shoulder blade, and I don't mean that it's going to go down there. And this is the Alistair, it'd be perfect to show this. So here's her shoulder blade. Here's the edge of it way out here. Huh? So you can see with Doris, this part of her shoulder blade is much closer to her spine than this part of her shoulder blade. There's a really big difference. The little muscle that helps to stabilise the shoulder blade or gives us thing actually runs like this. Goes from the edge of the shoulder blade and goes across. So I know with Doris that I can't think down because then I'm just pulling this further and further away from her spine. Huh? So I've got to think, Doris, this shoulder blade could go that way to get. Did you see what I did? I'm thinking of that, all of this being in a more even position relative to her spine. No? Is anyone not following me here? Well, there's the distance. Look now. There's the bottom of her shoulder blade here. Look at that distance there now compared to where it was before.
And where's the top gone?
There she is. It's spread a little bit.
Would you spend time making up the shoulder blade?
You would, but only if you knew where you wanted it to go. So, yeah, it'd be really good to map out the shoulder blade because here, Doris, can you feel now she's in a push position? She's ready to go. Can you feel that difference, Doris? No? Whereas when she was here, she's not. Look what's going to happen. This is going to go up there. Try and push now, Doris. There's just nothing. Yeah? There she goes. Boom. Hmm? Yeah.
So you can do that yourself, can't you? Put your hand there and then think what's happening to your shoulder blade.
You can do it yourself.
If you pretend that you're trying to take weight through your hand.
Absolutely.
See
what you want is to engage these little muscles back here. You want them to come on. Yeah? So it's a little bit like, I think I was saying to what stabilises where the gap in the shoulder girdle is at the back. You've got bony connection coming through to the front. So bony, bone, 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 and then all of a sudden there's this big gap at the back. So that's where someone has to start getting a little bit more control through, if you like, you know, or wake up a little bit. Whereas the pelvis is the opposite. At the front, the pelvis has only got the pubic bone. This is where it's big, open spaces. And so this is where the movement of the belly is so important to get the front going. So once I've got that, once I know I can get her into that position, there's the shoulder. This will be much lighter to put it on her head. And we've got her elbow quite high, because for Doris, if I let this drop, look where it's going to drop from. So we've just lost all of that connection we've given her. Because if Doris tried to lift her head there, no. But if we've got all this still, so I've engaged her, there's my stick across to the other shoulder. Now lift your head, Doris. Huh? Because she's got all this and not engaged in a stiff way, not engaged in a strong way. So once she's got that, I could even come in under here. This is so light, and I can show her how to make some circles.
You're just sending a message, look how lovely and pretty.
Absolutely. But I'm not going to do it if she's there. Yeah, because I want to engage these extensors. I want to engage these muscles on the back, which is what the bell hand's been doing. How do I engage these muscles on the back to lighten my head? If someone couldn't get there, do you know what I mean? If their shoulder was still really forward, that's where they were organised. So where would I want to put their hand on their head if that's the way they were? So this is forward. So if you imagine you're here like Doris and there's your arm and it's a little bit forward, where would you take your hand most easily now? It wouldn't be back there. It'd come underneath. No? So we could show her if that really likes to go down and spread, that could happen. No? But you need to get down and feel this on yourself. No? What is it? So now if I was going to lift Doris, it's not extension I'm going to do, it's flexion. 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 Because I've engaged her arm into her flexors, which is what Feldenkrais was doing a lot. No?
So now that you've found movement in her, are you just exploring the possibilities and showing her all the different
I'm showing
ways?
her how many different ways, how light she can be, how her weight can shift, and showing her that how much this is dependent on this organisation up here. So in a way, we've got her pelvis into a position where it's stable, not fixed, just stable. It's light. So then we're free to begin to show her all of this freedom she can have through the top part of her. Okay, come up now, Doris. And just see what feels different. And look at the difference in her shoulder blades. Huh?
Can you turn around? Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because that's one of the things, you know, as we give up some of our work, as we give up some of our habits, everything has to stay in our image. Because it's really easy as we give to the ground and that our shoulders give too. Right? So how do we keep that aliveness? And it's just an aliveness in there. It's not, you know, all the clients I see who have been told to pull their shoulders back and can you feel what you would do? Let's see if she can do it. That's it. There's the drop. Mm-hmm. And it's not her belly that's dropping. If you really pay attention, it's this that's dropping on her. Huh? She hasn't organised all this weight bearing through her arms yet. Huh?
So is it a matter of what's not engaging or what's supported that's causing her to drop?
It's what's not in her image. Huh? It's what's not in her image. So, you know, I would suggest that Doris, normally, if she goes back to the little drop, doesn't think much about this area. She might know it in terms of it might get a bit sore. Because if I give her my hand now and we gently press into each, there you go. There's the power in the back of you. Can you feel where you would normally do it from? Huh? There's the extensors. Feel how free your head is now. Huh? Feel that shoulder blade rolling over your ribs, even though you're weight bearing. Huh? This is what he was doing with Elizabeth at the end with her hands on the wall. Yeah? Showing her all this. And that's, again, where we've really got to have the big picture. Do you know what I mean? What is it? And they're simply questions at this moment for you to keep engaged with in your own process as well as others. Because we'll all get trapped in, oh, this is where they're tight. I have to, you know, they're working way too hard here. And that was the biggest thing I learned, to go, why do they have to do that? Because something else isn't there in their image. So they have to keep coming back to this because that's how they're supporting themselves. But if I take that away from them and don't show them all of this, how long are they going to retain it? So that's why you'll see Feldenkrais. What's he doing? Connecting a pelvis, connecting a shoulder girdle, you know, making a walk along the... She's got to organise this all the time. He's not saying walk sideways like this, because I can walk sideways and do nothing here. Huh? So what am I learning in crawling and everything I'm doing that's helping me to wake these different parts up? Okay, so new partner, I think. If you really want to have the same partner, it's fine, but I think it's really good to keep feeling all of this on someone, and you've got half an hour. One of you has got half an hour. And you don't have to get to that, but just to think about what's happening.